Today I want to look at John chapter 20 verses 24 to 29. John chapter 20 verses 24 to 29. Recovering your best days, even if you miss the appointment. How to recover spilt milk. Now you may remember sometime when you were supposed to be at an important appointment and you missed it. Did they wait for you? Or they proceeded without you? Now this is an occasion like that. Now Thomas, called the twin, one of the 12 was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples therefore said to him, "We have seen the Lord." Now I want to give you a little background about Thomas. Now this is after the resurrection Sunday. Somewhere after that, rest of the disciples got hold of Thomas and said, "Look, when the best thing happened, you were not there." Now I want to just query and find out what was Thomas doing that resurrection Sunday evening that he was not with the rest when Jesus came to visit his leadership cell. Now Jesus was gone, Peter must have been the leader. I will presently show you that Thomas might have been the assistant leader, only thing he was gone. He was not there. I want to suggest to you that though everybody cluttered together in fear behind closed doors because they feared the Jews, and it was all a joke that the disciples might have taken the body away, isn't it? That was the rumor that was spread around by the high priest. So the disciples were hiding, not wanting to go out. But Thomas had gone out freely. Fear was not his problem. Tell your neighbor, fear was not Thomas's problem. Then what was? He had his own plans how to recover from this debacle. Now if you read a little more about what Thomas was doing, he was quite an independent thinker and he spoke boldly. When Jesus had to get to Lazarus' tomb, Lazarus was dead and Jesus said, "I want to go and see Lazarus." Other disciples said, "I am trying to go back where they tried to kill you." Thomas said, "Let's go with him even if I die." But fear was not Thomas's problem. And Didymus, Thomas means in Hebrew twin. Didymus in Greek also means twin. So Thomas was not a proper name. It was he was one of the twin. Usually the older brother would have had a name. So he must have been second of the twin. Do you know a Bible story? A story about twins. Jacob and Esau. They were twins. And who was the first? Esau. And Jacob did his best to overtake. So usually the second of the twin is slight of stature. And if they are sharing a common placenta, the one who is born second, his life is threatened. So he comes popping out, having feel threatened by his own brother. These things have effects on people. I follow the picture and right. Thomas was one of the twin, probably the second of the twin. That's why he was called twin. Brother was not called twin, but he was the first twin. So the general understanding would have been, and those days there were no ultrascans to be done. So first one pops out and everybody is sighing a relief, and then what happens? There's another one waiting to come out. And out came who? The twin. They hadn't even prepared a name. You remember they used to prepare names in Hebrew culture. How do you know that? When John the Baptist was born, isn't it? When Jesus was born, angels said, "Name him Emmanuel." When John the Baptist was born, his name was given beforehand. So Thomas's older brother had a name ready. Thomas didn't have a name. So they called him twin. And it stuck with him. And so here is Thomas. One more thing in John chapter 14, when Jesus said, "I'm going away," the first to speak up was, now this is the final night, the first to speak up was Thomas. He said, "Tell us where you're going that we may also follow you. We don't know where you're going." So I'm making the case that Thomas was a speaker, that he spoke up when others were silent, or he was like the vice captain. Are you buying this story? I'll give you one more proof. After this episode also, when Jesus came and did all that was necessary, one more thing in John 21:2, Simon Peter, Thomas called the twin, Simon said, I want to go fishing. And whose next name? Simon Peter, Thomas called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and two others, his disciples were together. So Thomas is named after Simon. So Thomas was the important disciple. He spoke up, he was bold, but listen to his description now. The other disciples therefore said to him, verse 25, we have seen the Lord. So he said to them, I am so sorry. I should have been there. I should not have missed the important appointment. What did the Lord say? Did he ask for me? Did he come again for me? Did he say that? What did he say? We have seen the Lord, they said. So he said to them, unless I see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and put my hand into his side, I did not believe. Now Thomas had a streak in him. When discouragement hit him, he allowed it to become disappointment. How about you? What were you last discouraged about? Discouragement is losing strength under stress. It can happen to anybody anytime. But if you allow discouragement to get into disappointment, a resentment grows up. Can you hear his comments? The resentment. How could it happen without me? Don't tell me stories. Unless I see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe. Why was Thomas so disappointed? What did he do in his disappointment? Brothers and sisters, may I ask you, when you feel depressed, discouraged, disappointed, what do you do? What did the others do? They stuck together. They came back to the same room that they had last met with Jesus. They felt his presence was still there. His smell was still there. That was their last encounter with him. It was very precious. Fearing, trembling, having seen the brutality, having seen the torture, they at least had a memory. Say they had a memory. They went to the memory to collect the memory, recollect the memory. I'm sure when your dad passed away, you might have gone to his room and touched something that was precious to you and to him, isn't it? Isn't it? You will remember. And some of us may have had dad pass away when we were very young. Others when we were old. We cling to a memory that gives us some comfort. So these 10 others, Judas is gone. They went back to that upper room. That was their final time with the Lord Jesus. It was a precious time. They were all wondering what's going to happen. They were scared that night. This night also they are scared. Then Jesus comes into the room. But Thomas wasn't like that. He probably had some friends in Jerusalem. He did not wait with the others to receive comfort together, strength together. He wanted to find out his own avenue to the problem. How about you? Do you run from others when you feel depressed? Are you the kind who feel I must fight my own battles in silence? I have to fight through, no one can help. Do you get away from it all? Do you pretend it's not happening? Or do you get alongside others who could help you? So it's okay to hurt, okay to bleed. Sometimes we cannot help these feelings. And feeling that for 3.5 years, what I did is now in vain. That's how Thomas thought. It is okay not to be strong in faith all of the time. But we don't need to run away from reality when discouraged. Instead, let's gather together, be together as a family to strengthen ourselves in trouble. Sometimes we feel our prime years are over. Our thoughts run to former days. As Job said, I remember the time when the lamp of the Lord burned bright on my head. I remember the time when my feet was dipped with precious oil. I remember the time when people rose up at the gate of the city to honor me. Now I look so horrible. You are happier with reminiscences than with reality. You are hurt that you are only history, shadow of your former self, wondering if you recover the aspect, recover the cutting edge. take heart. When Thomas was acting the way he would have been relegated to history, a relic, a memory, an old story, an embarrassment, the once was, Lord came to restore him, gave him back to the lost opportunity. That's the nature of the Lord. And you will find it was deeply etched in Thomas's heart and his visual image. He had watched this happening from a little distance. John was very close. He was there till the end. See how he describes. We have seen the, unless I see in his hands the print of the nails. He saw Jesus being crucified, his hero, his king, his Lord, the one to whom he gave all his strength, all his allegiance. And he was expecting at any time that he would come off the cross. You remember Jesus said, I will be crucified, but I will be raised. He forgot the third day. He thought, now he will tear those nails and come. He waited there till he was pierced on the side. And when the earthquake came, and when the noonday darkness came and the eclipse came, he thought, now. And he heard Jesus crying out, Father, Father, hast thou not forsaken me? Then Thomas thought, something will happen. Jesus will come off the cross. And he heard the high priest and the thief reviling, saying, if you are the king, get off it now. You are the big man, you said. And Thomas was hoping with all his heart Jesus would do this and prove him to be the Messiah. Since he hoped till the last moment and hope differed, it his heart failed. Hope differed, his heart failed. I don't know whether you have given your heart that strongly to a cause and you lost it all. These are days when people don't give allegiance like that, even to marriage. But Thomas gave it all. And when he saw the one whom he really loved didn't do what he thought he was well able to do, come off that cross. Thomas's faith shattered. He thought, irrecoverable. He couldn't find any faith inside. But Jesus comes. How do you handle your misgivings? What are the things you have misgivings about? Is it about a son who didn't listen to what you said? Is it about a daughter you're wondering how to counsel? Is it about a career opportunity you wasted and you feel, I should have got it? It is easy to bear it if someone defrauded you. You can fight it. But when you're the cause of your discouragement or failure as a thing, it's hard to bear. But Jesus comes again. So what do we say? Are we going to say, bygones are bygone, let's forget it, let's go ahead? How do we say it? Or are we going to say, friends will say, don't worry, time will heal, and time will, and you know time will not heal. Time heals nothing. Time is not a medicine. How have you faced it? Will you forget all your mistakes and will you say, or will you get to the God's story through all things? Will you complete it for me through all things? Through bad things, through good things, through all things? God works for good for them that love Him and are called according to His purposes. Thomas couldn't find inside him 1 ounce more of strength to muster. But he gave it all and it all shattered. And he was saying, I need some proof to get back my pieces together. We want the church to be a place filled with perfect and holy people so that we can